Oh, it was Power here with a page through on EXO's Obsession EXO version. So I finally got my hands on this version of Obsession. Even though this is like, what, nearly gonna be like 3 years old now, but I always wanted to complete this trio because obviously I had the Obsession version and the EXO version thanks to Barnes& Noble. I find it really weird Barnes & Noble doesn't really sell any other SM group other than NCT. Kind of sucks, but well, so again, this being the EXO version is technically like the, I will say, combat versions of EXO. So we got the track list, that was the members, and then it's the same format. Obviously, we don't have any X's to signify, obviously, EXO. And I think this one just has that. So, it's been a while since I looked into this. I always really liked how this feels. And I think at this point now, it's going to be a year since I've owned the other ones, or the other two. Because I initially got Obsession because I couldn't find the Gold Ranger manga. So I'm like, sure, I'll pick up Obsession. And now I've actually listened to the full album. So now I can actually talk about it. Because we'll talk about it as I go through the album. Like, I always just find the packaging for this one to be pretty neat. Okay, we already spoiled one thing, so... Where are the inclusions? Let's just throw all this to the side. So, here's the photo book, which I think I'm going to breeze through, just because I don't know. I don't remember I've said this in the initial video. It's been, again, nearly a year, but like, well, after we get through this, I think I got the ISO too high. Yeah, so it's EXO's, not it is, but it was EXO's 10th anniversary, which is like, man, I'm old. I guess here, this is the only EXO thing I have, so I guess I'll talk about my experience with EXO. So I've kind of knew EXO since the beginning. My first experience with them was with History. Then after that, I was shown What Is Love, and then I was showing some of the teasers, especially I think the Two Moons teaser. That was, I was showing Kai's teaser, definitely, but I don't recall what other teasers I saw. Groove is one of my favorite songs out of here, along with Yeah 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 is pretty good too. I really like this location. It seems like a Toku location. Like, as weird as. Like, this looks like a Toku location. Baby You Are is a pretty good song too. But basically, I was reminded right away of the 127 song, because I was like, wait, they had a song called Non-Stop. I'm like, oh yeah, of course they did. But yeah, so history I was like really into and such. And then obviously Mama got released a month later, which was pretty neat. And then I was showing a lot of the, I think they had a debut concert or something like that. Like, I don't remember what it was exactly, but I think in that concert, oh, this is interesting. The original title for this was Angel of the Night. That's a pretty cool title. But I think I think in that like concert, that was where they had the original version of Two Moons, where they had the line roll like a buffalo. And the Chinese version of Obsession, as I joked in the Monster video, is pretty good. Like, I really do like the Chinese version of Obsession. And the fact that the original title was Spend It All, and that unlike the Korean version, now it's only Chen that does the backup vocals. That's pretty interesting. Like, it makes a lot of sense because Chen and Schumann got stuck in XOM. This is a pretty neat image overall. I wonder if they're actually gonna tap back into this like war, I guess, of like fighting their evil selves. So there's the disc and such. I do find this to be interesting, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I like that. It acknowledges 9. I think we're gonna look through all the photo books and then we'll go through the inclusions. Because, you know, I decided to conform. So, what the heck? So, 2 of these. Alright. I wonder why that's the case. So, Suho, Baekhyun, and Chen, so it's in age order. Suho, I still have yet to actually look fully into his comeback. I watched Hurdle, and I really liked that. I still need to look into Red Suit, whoops, Gray Suit. I was reading this. So, yeah, again, I apologize for the whitewashing that the camera's doing. But yeah, again, I've just kind of think it's neat that they actually just decided to put everyone in their own photo book. Like, that's neat. I feel like you get your money's worth out of that and such. Instead of like selling like 6 of these or whatever, just pack them all together. That makes sense. Okay, all of these are the same. But I've always thought, like, I've always been into EXO's concept. Like, you know, just the fact they have a story is pretty interesting. Like, that's what always got me into EXO. But then I thought the story kind of concluded by Mama. Because I was like, you know, by overdose, no. that's jumping too far. But I see that's the thing. It's just like I always forget they did do an album, but that's like the weird thing too is that I was there when that happened because when EXO got released, at least with the Korean version, I've heard like I've listened to every track on that album because during like car rides and such, my sister was just like, "Hey, you want to listen to this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So it's like I could like just because I had like some like songs lingering in my head, and I'll be like, "Is this an EXO song?" Because I'll be like, "This sounds like Baekhyun," and then this sounded like Dio, and then like just recently I actually went back to uh like listen to snippets of EXO, and I'm like, "Oh shoot, I remember these songs." I know we're not talking about it, but like Peter Pan was always one of my favorites. XOXO also. And then Heart Attack. Heart Attack was the one that was like lingering to me because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is an EXO song. I think Chen is gonna come back by the end of the year, so that'll be pretty interesting to see. Like, I think besides Luhan, uh, like Chen was like my second favorite out of XOM, but like I just wasn't really showing much of XOM. Yeah, I wonder why it's upside down, but yeah, like I guess like going back to like just history is just like it was kind of like really neat to like actually see a new boy group to come out at SM because it was like, oh shoot, like because the last group they had was Shiny and that was back in 2008 or 7. I was like 2008. Oh yeah, his hair was pink. They did a good job at covering that up. Like I kind of like actually like going back into like EXO. Like I've obviously grew a lot of respect to the other members. Whoops. Because again, like back then, in like 2012 to like 20. Well, really, I would just say 2012. I would say 2013, 2014. At that point, I was like mainly Kai and Luhan, but or yeah, mainly those two. But like in 2012 or whatever, like I only like really paid attention to like 4 members within EXO. I never like pay attention to anyone else. So it's just like basically, when I actually like looked back and caught up with their music or discography, I grew a lot of respect for like a lot of the other members. Cause I guess like I don't know how to describe, because even like groups like Super Junior, I still kind of like like acknowledged everyone else. But I think it was just because at that point my sister wouldn't really tell me like the members I like, because I think how it would go, it would essentially be like after like we finished watching, she would be like, "Okay, so who's your favorite?" I'm like, so like again, like for example, like history, I'll be like, "Well, I like the guy that sung first and I like the guy after, and then like my sister would be like, "Oh yeah, that's Kai," and then that's Dio, and such. I think that's how it'll go. So basically, then that's just how I kind of knew who was who and such. Last but not least, 7. Oops. Yeah, I think Seihyun and Lei are like the two I like probably gained the biggest respect for, just because it's like I'll say like elite, like especially like Lei, because I'm like I don't think I barely even knew who he was back then. I don't even think I even knew he existed. Because like my sister would not show me the XOM versions as much whenever we did rewatch music videos. But like I'll say like during like 2013, so like my like biggest thing out of like XOXO was just the entire album as a whole, because I was really not into Wolf. Like Wolf has got to be my least favorite title track. Like I just do not like that song. Uh like it just never really like clicked with me at all. I was just like, and it was also just the fact I didn't really like the idea of putting XOK and XOM together, because I thought they were better off like separate, because of the fact like XOM actually got to shine by themselves, and now it's like, well, great, now they're just with EXO K, so now it's like great. And then however, like, you know, we got not left and right. We got Growl, which, got me reinvested and such. However, I don't think I actually listened to the new tracks from the repackage, because I didn't know Lucky, or I don't remember. I don't know the other title track. But like Lucky was like one I did not know about at all until recently. So here we got traditional ad. Man, I'm kind of glad SM like cut down on these, but here's a code you can't use anymore. I think it really sucks in the game. There's barely anything for this like unit of EXO. There's only like 3 songs and 2 themes. I think they could definitely use stuff from here. So here's this thing, which apparently the way this works, we got Chanyeol right away. Anyway, by the way, but like apparently what you do is you shine this, like you flash your light and you let this reflect on the wall. And I already spoiled this. But look, we got Kai. I don't remember how much iterations of these there are, because I think the Obsession version has both sets together. But wow, I got Kai. I'm sorry that I didn't, like, scream or anything. So what are you just here? Because I find it really... is this just the one poster? Or is it 2? Okay. Wow, we're just lucky today. We're getting Kai stuff. Wow, this box not box. This album really likes me. Cool. So I mostly got Kai. That like I'm on this weird like streak of actually getting my favorites. Like with Bloom, I got Wendy with Wendy's version of the album, which that was cool to capture live. I don't have anything else to say because I haven't opened anything else. But yeah, um, very happy to have all three versions of Obsession. Um, Surprised I actually managed to get Kai because I feel like I don't know. I know they state that there's like everyone is equal, but at the same time though, I kind of feel like there are like rarities between members because I do definitely feel like obviously Schumann isn't a part of this, but like if he was, I feel like him, Baekhyun, or Chenyo are like the commons, and then like Sehun, like I guess depending on this, I'll say like Sehun and Suho will be like the uncommon, and then I would say like Chen or Kai. I wouldn't say they're rares. That just reminds me actually. I think the only I technically only need two members now for EXO. I need Chen and Lei. Lei is obviously impossible, so now I technically just need Chen. But yeah, that'll have to do with this page through. I actually found things to talk about, even though I didn't even finish what I was talking about because I never talked about Overdose. Well, like, here's the thing. I actually don't really have much to talk about Overdose. Overdose just kind of happened. Like, I watched the music video, both versions, and I was like, yeah, I like that. This is better than Wolf. That was kind of it. Then, like, I never really heard, again, the B-sides until recently. And I'm like, the Overdose has really good B-sides. But, like, other than that, it's just like, Overdose sadly just kind of happened. Also, this is because this is during the time I was starting to kind of contemplate a falling out with K-pop, but yeah, that'll have to do with this review. So this is Power, and I'll leave you people. Did I just say review?